Jesus Christ, Adrian Younge in the place, in the basement, in the basement, and you've just made me particularly happy with your selection.
Oh, thank you very much.
That was and all on 7-inch.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm trying to give back to what you give everything to the world, and I'm just trying to give you a piece of it back a little bit.
Well, you gave it to me. What's on there?
That.
Tell me what's on there. Tell me the songs. Give me the song list.
Let's see here.
Everybody wants to know.
The song list. We had Evil Vibrations.
Did you know that was on a 7-inch?
We had Crown Heights Affair, Dreaming a Dream. We had William Vaughn, Be Thinking of What You Got, the disco version.
Lyrics.
Nights Over Egypt, one of my favorite songs ever.
Never fails. Text to one song.
I mean, we had a lot. We had Idris Muhammad.
A 7-inch.
Could heaven ever be like this? Yeah, the 7-inch. It is different.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah. It's different. I like
edits.
Misdemeanors, Silvers.
Foster Silvers.
And
no, there was that other one. There was that kind of there's two. There was two that I had to.
Oh, that one that you asked
Come
about.
on.
Yeah, I'll give it out.
You got to give it out. Don't keep that one quiet.
It's hard to find anyway.
By the way, Adrian's records some of them actually have got white paper over them so you can't see what's on it. Covered up.
No, this one is by the Wrecking Crew called Found the Groove. That's one you asked me about.
I need another one. I need one of those.
Yeah. It's a nice one. I found it at my shop in LA.
So tell us your shop. I can't believe it. So not only do you have a shop in a club and all that amazing music that you've been making, most recently, of course, you've had some massive crossover success with your Picasso baby.
Yes.
Stuff. Before we talk about you as the musician and producer, so record shop, where is it?
It's called the Art Form Studio. It's a salon and full-on boutique record shop in downtown LA. So that's where myself and my wife and my business partner operate kind of a artist retreat, if you want to say. So the homies come over, look at records, the girls come over and get their hair done, and the girls buy records. I always thought it would be that the girls would bring their boyfriends or their husbands, but the girls buy the records, and it trips me out. It's just really cool. So it just, it's one of those things. We don't have any music stores anymore, and it's one of those places where you have the salon, barbershop, and music store all in one. So everybody gets to chill and meet. Whoever comes in town gets their hair done and picks up some vinyl. So it works out for us, and it's something that serves as inspiration for myself because my music is so vinyl based. I get to go in there and always listen to new inspiration. Because it's stuff, I find stuff that I've never heard. Because we focus on kind of rare vinyl and stuff. So that's that.
Do you sell glasses? Because you got those shades are killing.
Thank you, man. That's probably the next venture.
Yeah. It's got to be done.
Appreciate it, man.
So you got the record shop, and you're still DJing.
Yes, I'm still DJing. I DJ at a place called Bridges every second Saturday of the month in downtown LA, and then I travel and DJ too. Just for fun. For fun. Yeah.
And you've just been making so much music. Yeah. What's happened? You were doing all these amazing records on your own terms.
Yeah.
What came first? Being a producer, being a I read you were a lawyer.
Well, I'm not a practicing attorney. I have a law degree, and I taught law for 3 years. And then after that, that's when I really got into music, and that kind of really took over.
In LA?
Yes, in LA. So basically, my break came out because I edited and scored a film called Black Dynamite, and that was a kind of a modern blaxploitation film. And then after that, I did an album called Something About April, which was eventually used for Picasso Baby, Jay-Z's Picasso Baby, and Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake's Heaven. It was sampled by Timbaland. And after Something About April album, I did a Delfonics album. And after that, I did a Ghostface album called 12 Reasons to Die. And I just finished the Souls of Mischief album. And
where did you pull that one out of?
Oh, dude. Well,
where were they?
They were just. They were always around. They tour a lot. They got a huge fan base still, man.
One of the best logos of all time, right?
Oh, absolute high road, man. I love them dudes, man. But the thing is, I grew up and Souls of Mischief. I always connected with them because I always felt that they were me. They were those dudes that weren't the gangster. But they were hip hop and they had soul and they were an integral part of that subculture. They had the ill dialect, the vernacular. Everything was just me about them. So when A+ from Souls of Mischief reached out to me and said, "Yo, we'd love to work with you someday," and I was like, "You kidding me?" You know, I mean, I used to know, I know the album 93 Till Infinity by heart. So, I mean, when we came together, it was kind of like, you know, cousins meeting for the first time, but we're just so tight. And we finished the album, and it's all live, all 2-inch tape, everything. I mean, it's to me, it's the best work that they've ever done. It's funny, man. In my studio, my sound is focused on being a hip hop producer that went back to 68 to 73. So I don't do anything that they would not have done back then. So as far as reverb, as far as tape echo, everything is all hardware based, no plugins. So that's what my music's based on. And a lot of people look at it as, you know, is with a lot of intrigue, but to me, it's just the way that my kind of music should be done, and it's just a natural thing, you know. I mean, literally this last year is the first time I ever saw Pro Tools in my life, you know, and people make fun of me for that stuff, but it's the first time. And nothing against Pro Tools or anything, but it's just not me for my music, you know.
Well, you know, listening to your music, you've certainly got your particular hip hop retro edge, sort of, not retro, that's not the nice word, but sort of you've got that authentic sound, but it's done in a way that only now could do it, sort of thing, right? So the breaks and all that. So you're nailing that. You're nailing that. Before that, of course, before I was hearing your sound, there was, of course, that was going out of Brooklyn with the Dap Kings, and they got the funk thing down. Down the groups and that whole thing going on. Now, listening to the music you're playing just now in your mix, and I'm hearing, I'm hearing the Mighty Ryders. Yeah. Now, I was saying to Drew, who's with us, when we were listening to you playing, I was like, you know what? It's a cliche, but they don't make music like this anymore.
They don't,
right?
Yeah,
so
they don't.
So you've got the kind of Ghost Dog thing going down with you, the Wu-Tang thing. You're doing that. You're nailing that. And the Dapkins are nailing their thing. But no one's yet done the Mighty Ryders thing. That Earth, Wind and Fire. Who's going to do Earth, Wind and Fire all in all in 2014? Is that you?
Well, I'll start letting out a little bit out the bag. An album that I haven't personally announced yet, that I'll announce now, is I'm going to be doing a Snoop Dogg album. And basically, this Snoop Dogg, all I'll say about this album is it's an album that takes place between about 74 to 78. So when Snoop and I got together, you know, I said to him, I want to make an album that's the best thing you could ever make. And to me, he's just somebody that represents just soul, whether it's 70s soul, 60s soul, 80s, 90s. I mean, he's just soul, and we take it real back. We go real back. I mean, we got some like from G-Funk to disco stuff, you know, and he is just an insane talent, you know. So I mean, you know, going back to they don't make music like this anymore. More so what it is, people still compose. There's still composers out there, but a lot of people limit themselves to what they can do on a laptop. And that's why things don't feel the same. It's about going back to listening to organic music made with human error. That is sweet and tangible, something that touches you. That you don't feel the IC chips in the music. You know, you feel the knobs turning. You feel the fader go up and the fader go down at the end of the song. It's those kind of things, you know. So I mean, there's a lot going on this year.
Well, I can't wait to hear that. Let me ask you a question, because on the subject of, so you're recording all this stuff, right? You're playing a lot of it yourself,
yes,
right? And then you're recording it onto tape,
yes,
right?
Yes.
2-inch tape,
yes, 2-inch tape,
and that's very rare these days, right?
Right. Yes.
And the things I was just making a record recently, and we were kind of into nice equipment and good mics and stuff, but in the end, you know, recording onto tape, it takes a long time. So whenever you've got to replay something, you know, it's very time consuming, because you can't just...
Well, you know what? To me, it's not time consuming, because that's all I know. So to me, there's only one way to approach this kind of music. You see what I'm saying? And as an artist, my thing is just whatever you're doing, do it the best and don't take any shortcuts. So to me, there's just one way to do it. That's just it. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, if I have a vocalist in the booth, we're doing one take. We're not doing 10 takes and cutting and pasting. Because actually, at the end of the day, when you do Pro Tools and you're cutting and pasting all these things, I can make the argument that takes longer. Because you got to determine what's going to fit there and all that, you know? So, I mean, you know, I play most of my stuff, but my band, Venice Dawn, I mean, they they put it down and they're sharp when they come in. You know, it's just like RZA would say when he brings Wu-Tang with the swords, I bring Venice Dawn in with the swords, you know, and we do our thing, you know, and everything just is just streamlined, and we're just used to doing this kind of recording, you know. But they this is what they did back then. It took them, you know, a few days to make albums back then too. You know, but everybody came in with the approach that we're doing one take. So that means we're coming prepared. You see what I'm saying? It's a different approach.
I can't believe who you're working with. I mean, you're working with Raphael Saadiq.
Yes, we're gonna Saadiq and I are gonna be doing an album, and also something else that's almost done is myself and Ali Shaheed Mohammad are doing it's a late 60s, early 70s jazz funk psych album that is just, I mean, come on, give me something, dude.
Give me something. You can't just talk about it. No, I know it's not ready.
That dude, I'm telling you, Ali, man, he's just,
wow.
I mean, I learned so much from Tribe Called Quest. And then meeting him and working with him. You know, I really don't work with much people outside of my band. He's actually the first person outside of some of these other artists that I'm currently working with that I actually work with compositionally outside the band. And he's just so musically intelligent. And I can't wait for people to hear what we created in the studio. I'm very psyched about that.
Okay, so there's Saadiq.
Yes.
And there's Mohammed, there's CeeLo, I hear a whisper.
Yeah, yes. You're pulling it all out of me right now. Trying to keep some secrets.
Oh, no, okay, no, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. You know, I don't know how many of your listeners watch the documentary Unsung, but Unsung is it's a Black American documentary series on TV One, and they feature the Delfonics. And as I noted earlier, I did the Delfonics album, and I'm part of that documentary. And CeeLo saw that, and CeeLo found me, and we just started hooking up and started making music, and we're gonna do something now. And I mean, that dude is, I mean, his voice is so iconic. Because I've loved him since Goody Mob, but the thing is, one of the reasons why him and I click so much is that we both approach soul music from a hip-hop perspective, meaning that we both love lyrics that have the tongue twist as an MC would. However, we bring in composition and chords, because hip-hop mastered the drums, but it never really mastered great composition and great chord changes. You see what I'm saying? So it's like bringing that approach to soul music is what we're all, Snoop, CeeLo, Saadiq, Ali, myself, Venice Dawn, what we're all trying to do this year, Souls of Mischief. And we're just extremely excited. You know, I mean, this Souls of Mischief album that we'll be releasing is the first hip-hop album outside of the last Ghostface album I did that obviously using no sample, but it's live. But it's not live like the Roots. It's live in a way that they would have recorded in about 72. Because sonically, what it is, it's supposed to be as if Herbie Hancock and Bob James got together with David Axelrod and said, dude, yo, let's produce this album for Souls of Mischief. That was a sonic perspective. So I said to Souls, I said, you guys are four of the greatest MCs ever. I said, I want you guys to be the horn section. I want all your rhymes, all your vocals to kind of intertwine as if you're all different horns in the jazz, you know, as far as this jazz ensemble. And that's how we approach the album. And you know, the difference between this and Ghostface is that the Ghostface was a whole concept, dark horror concept film. I mean, film type album. This album is just a straight up album. Even though there's a story attached concept album, it's something that is straight up hip hop, jazz, funk, psych stuff from that period. This is the first time that that's been recorded live like this, but in a way where every single thing sounds exactly like it's a sample. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm really excited about this year and how myself and the other artists that I'm working with are seeking to excel what soul music is currently defined as. Because to me, soul music in general has just declined as far as the compositional value. You know, since a lot of music is just being made with noises and sounds and just laptops, opposed to live strings, horns, and real drums. Not saying you can't make great music on computers and great music on programmed hardware, but a lot of times when people are making music without live instruments, it takes away the human error, and it takes away intuitive composition, and that's what we're trying to bring back 2014.
Hey man, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, man.
Absolute pleasure having you here. I Want You, CeeLo Green was a big track for me. Can you just give me another one like that? Just give me that boogie, give me that soul vibe.
Look,
I need that.
Dude, this, I'm telling you, this stuff that CeeLo and I are doing. I mean, imagine CeeLo. What I said to CeeLo when we met, I said, you know, it's crazy, man. I'm a big fan of you, and I love your music. And I said, one thing that I always felt as though vocally you could get more out. I always felt that you were kind of refraining because you have such a big voice. And I said, with this album, I want us to delve deeper in chords and twists and unexpected turns that actually make sense, you know. So it's like, it's a lot more psych, but then it's at the same time, it's a lot more like Stevie Wonder, beautiful rainbow chord type stuff. So it's just getting into all that stuff. Not saying he didn't do great stuff up to this point, but our job as a team is what can we do to try to beat what you've already done, and that's what we're working on.
I can't wait. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, man.